More than 600,000 Australians have taken up the federal government's offer to access up to $20,000 from their super tax-free. But is early access a smart move? Let's bring in finance expert Michelle Maynard from Carbon Group now. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Lou.
Why are we able to access our super?
Yeah, historically it was really hard to access your superannuation. You had to prove a medical condition or some financial hardship. But due to the coronavirus, the government had made an announcement that people who are redundant, who've had a reduction in their income or their hours of more than 20%, are able to access up to $20,000 of their superannuation. So that's $10,000 on this side of 30 June and another $10,000 on the other side of 1st of July. So this process is applying through to the ATO, and they're going to determine whether you're able to access that or not. If they deem that you meet the criteria, they're going to give you a letter to send through. So the reason that they've done this is basically to help people who are suffering financially due to the impact of the coronavirus. So while it's a good idea, it seems to be a good idea, there are some things that people need to know before they make that decision.
Okay, walk me through what we need to consider then.
So there are three things I think people really need to think about before they access their super. Firstly, we've all seen our superannuation balances take a hit over the past couple of months. The reason for this is that your super normally invests heavily in the share market, and we know that the share markets have taken a dive globally as a result of the pandemic. So by taking that money out now, you actually lock in those losses and don't get the benefit of any upswing once we know that the share markets will recover after coronavirus ends. Secondly, the impact of that come retirement time compounds because of interest and other investments that you're missing out on. So if you're around the age of 30 and you take that $20,000 out now, you're going to be around $50,000 worse off come your retirement age. If you're 40 and you access that $20,000, you're going to be about $40,000 worse off. And if you're 50 years old and you take out the 20, you're going to be around $30,000 worse off come retirement age. So because of the compounding effects in those years that you're missing out on, it actually is going to have a huge effect come retirement time. The last thing people need to consider is most Australians only have insurance within their super fund. So if you withdraw the majority of the balance or the entire balance, you really do leave yourself at the risk of being uninsured. So you may not have trauma insurance or life insurance should something unexpected happen to you. So you really need to consider whether those three things are worth it just to get the access to the $20,000 tax-free now.
A lot of things to consider. Just quickly, should we be accessing our super? Because there are a lot of things there that are negative about it.
There are, and I think there's no one-size-fits-all thing. I think a lot of financial advisors would tell you to exhaust all other opportunities first before you do actually access this money. At the end of the day, if it's a choice between accessing super and losing your house, then that is something that you definitely may want to consider. But do try and access other means or take other steps before you do draw this money out.
Okay, great advice. Thank you for breaking it all down for us as always, Michelle.
Thanks, Lou.